how do you say, yeah? So, okay, so each of these 4 quarters of the mandala, they're called Buddha lineages, Buddha families, yeah? So, like, there's 5 father Buddhas, 5 mother Buddhas, 5 families, yeah? Like Amogashiddhi, Karma family, Jewel family, Vajra family, Lotus family, and Wheel family, okay? And all the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas you can imagine fit within these 5 families, yeah, okay? But not depending on the colour, by the way. People think all green ones are Amogashiddhi, but that's not true. It's more like what they do, the feeling, you know? So, for example, Black Manjusri, who everybody likes a lot, no? He's part of the Amogashiddhi family, yeah? Why? Because Black Manjusri is like protecting us from fear, actually, yeah? Because Amogashiddhi means no fear, yeah, okay? So it's more like the feeling, what they do, rather than what colour they... Colour doesn't really mean much, yeah? In terms of the Buddha family, it's more what they do that's who goes where, you know? Also Tara, no? She's in the Amogashiddhi family because, yeah, Tara is transforming fear, yeah? Tara, the liberator, so her job was to heal many, 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 many kinds of fear, like the 8 fears, the 100,000 million fears, yeah? Okay? Yeah? That's what she liberates us from, yeah? Especially the fear of samsara, no? Okay? So, there's 5 Supreme Healer Buddhas, because in ancient India, the person was divided into 5 parts, body and 4 other parts, which is the mind, yeah? Form, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness, yeah? So what we call compositional factor, factori composti, no? In Sanskrit is a samskara, yeah? Okay? So precisely it means like, how to say, like it's like our thoughts, our desires, our emotions that condition our behavior, you know? So it's kind of like, I suppose it's kind of like our personality traits, our habits, you know? Like, oh, I only like that colour, yeah, because, well, I don't know, when we were a kid, we dressed in that colour, or I could never wear pink because, you know, or I hate tofu, or, you know, we have all these, like, kind of, like, habits, don't we? I like this, I could never do that, yeah, but it's just like habits of the mind, yeah, okay, the samskaras, yeah, okay? And this conditions our experience. So, oh, I'm that kind of person, you know, I'm English, I'm that age, or I'm Italian and I do this, I've got a degree, yeah? Then we're totally conditioned like the way that we are, yeah? So that's very limiting, right, yeah? So what we need to do is transform that, yeah? Transform our personality, actually. So with Amogashiddhi, we need to get a better personality, basically, yeah, okay? Yeah, to make it very simple, yeah, okay? Yeah? So, how to say, yeah? Anyway, these samskaras, which is, Amogashiddhi represents the transformation of this, the samskaras. It's what drives our karma, yeah? Okay, karma is not something like magic, yeah? Or, you know, it's written, nothing like that. Karma is just, like everything every action has a result, yeah? Okay? Yeah, but why do we do certain things, you know? Like, for example, why do I eat stuff that's bad for me? Why don't I take any exercise? Blah, 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 you know, yeah? Even though I know it's good for me, why I don't do it is because we have, like, these strong habits, yeah? So behind the action of, like, for example, not taking enough exercise is something emotional. So we need to transform our emotional habits, right? And then, as a result, we transform our actions, yeah? Okay? You know, so, you know, once we understand, I thought I'd talk about the Dhyani Buddhas first, because then it's much more interesting to say the mantra. Otherwise, it's like, what is it, you know? Yeah. So I thought then, you know, when we're saying Om Amogashiddhi Hum, you know, for half hour, then it's much more meaningful, and we have many things to think about. No, okay. So we're trying to change our conditioning, yeah. Okay, the conditioning we have done to ourselves, yeah, okay, because we are responsible for our own experience, right, yeah? So we're trying to have like Lama Gangchen used to say, every day one less negative action, every day one more positive action, right, yeah? So, okay, first day it's easy, but then second, third, then okay, you know, it's not so easy every day to have one more positive action, so we need to change our samskaras, you know, change our habits, yeah? So slowly change the negative habit of the mind into positive habits, okay? Yeah? Okay? So Amogashiddhi, yeah? They have mudras, that means gestures. So this hand is in the meditation mudra. This hand is like that. This is called the abhaya, the no fear, yeah, gesture. So Lama Gangchen, he always used to say that all these mudras are just like automatic, like natural. So for example, if you're crossing a road and a car comes, we go like that, no? So these are just natural expressions of human emotion. So that means, no fear, stop, yeah? Stop the negativity, yeah? Okay? Yeah? And so this represents that the energy of Amogashiddhi is fearlessness, okay? So also Amogashiddhi is linked with the secret chakra, the sexual chakra, yeah? So we have like deep-rooted, profound fear, yeah? Okay, of death, yeah? Okay, of survival, yeah? Yeah? And we're so dominated by our survival fears that we drive ourselves all our life, to work, to pay the mortgage, to do this, to do that. Yeah, we're totally driven by our fear and anxiety, yeah? And unfortunately, most of us go on like that till we're worn out, exhausted or dead, unfortunately, Or then, whole life we're trying to protect ourselves, which we think we can protect ourselves by manipulating the outer world, right, yeah? We don't understand that we need to protect ourselves by protecting our mind, changing the way that we see things. Lama Gangchen used to say, actually, it's not so difficult. All we need to do is change the position of our mind, and it's easy, yeah? Just look at the same thing from a different perspective, okay? Then we can protect our mind, but we don't understand, no? So we just think, I need like a bigger house, I need an armoured car, I don't know, I need a security system, I need loads of money, blah, 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 and then I will be okay, I will be safe, yeah? Yeah? But safety is not, as we can see in the world, it's not just, if it was just depend on material things, then in Europe we should be very okay, but it's not true, no? So we need to go to the roots of our insecurity, yeah? To heal the underlying emotions, our profound fears, yeah? Okay? Yeah? So, Lama Gangchen used to say, like, for example, yeah? Okay, example. When we go out of the house, it's true, we have like an umbrella, and then we have maybe a hat, and we have all this thing, and then we're like, is it going to rain? How is it going? He said, this is because we're afraid, yeah? He said, so we need to spend all this time, like, what am I going to wear and this? Because it's showing our insecurity, yeah? Okay? And he said that only when our fear diminishes do we understand how much fear we actually have, yeah? Because now we're so normal people, we're so full of fear we can't even recognize, because it's become like our normal vibration, yeah? So in the self-healing practice, we start the healing from the Amogashiddhi, the secret chakra, upwards, yeah? Because first we need to a little bit relieve ourselves of this profound, paralyzing fear, yeah, that dominates our life, yeah, okay? Yeah, so we have all kinds of fear, I don't know, like fear of losing out, we have paranoia, yeah? Envy, jealousy, which are totally useless emotions, So in Buddhist psychology, they say that, jealousy is completely useless because, I don't know, let's say somebody else has, I don't know what exactly, better house than us, better car, better something. What use is being jealous? Because there's no way that our jealousy will enable us to get that. If we want it, we have to create the cause, right? Yeah. And being jealous, there's no way, Just all it does is make ourselves miserable. So of all the emotions, I think jealousy is probably the most useless one because there's absolutely no benefit whatsoever, yeah? Yeah? And it doesn't get us what we want, But we don't understand that. Lama Gangchen, he made us all T-shirts, rejoicing is the best investment, yeah? So instead we need the opposite, which is, you see somebody else, they have something beautiful, I don't know what, beautiful coat, beautiful yacht, beautiful something, jewel, partner, more money. I think, how wonderful, yeah? And we need to truly feel how nice, that person's having a nice life. Because if we're Mahayana Buddhists, yeah, sure, some people are going to have a better life than us, but just feel happy, So Rinpoche, Lama Gangchen always used to say, rejoicing is the best investment, yeah? And he used to make us repeat it like all the time, every time we have an initiation. This is one of our slogans. I think we should make this again, actually, yeah? Rejoicing is the best investment, yeah? It's true. More than putting money in the bank, if we rejoice and we feel truly empathy towards other people, this is like putting energy in the karma bank, you know, okay? So, you know. So when we first come here, and all this looks like I don't know what from another planet, but actually it's all very interesting psychology. We just need to understand what the symbolism is, you know, okay? What, like the archetypes of the Dhyani Buddhas, the Supreme Healers, what do they mean? Then it's like, oh yeah, of course, you know, yeah? Okay. Okay, so each Dhyani Buddha has like a color. Amogashiddhi is green. Why is he green? For many interesting reasons, yeah? Okay, for example, I was thinking about this these days. I've been going out walking in the woods around here, you know, okay? So, of course, it's nice, but, I mean, imagine like 1,000 or 2,000 years ago, everything's covered in forest, and it's not like nowadays, you know, there were like things in the woods, you know? Nowadays, we almost kill all the animals, I'm sorry to say, but basically, yeah? But imagine, like, even now, walking around here, then you think, oh, maybe there's a chingyali, you know, maybe there's a boar, maybe there's something, maybe there's a viper, you know, and you're like, yeah, maybe there's somebody, you know, these naturally coming now, isn't it, yeah? So imagine in ancient times when there really were things in the woods, you know, so I think green a little bit is the feeling of the wilderness, you know, yeah, yeah. But also, interestingly enough, green is also the color of nirvana, yeah, okay, yeah. Because on the positive side also, you know, if you're in touch with nature, you can really feel like inner peace, right, yeah? Lama Gangchen used to say that green was his favorite color, yeah, okay? Well, he was like Mr. Amogashiddhi, yeah? All action Lama Gangchen, yeah? His whole life was like totally meaningful, you know, like when he wake up to sleep, well, even when he was asleep, you know, sure, yeah? His whole life, everything he did was to bring benefit and healing to others. He truly had a accomplished, meaningful life, you know. So we can see that this kind of quality is possible to have, you know. Okay, to have a truly meaningful life, you know. Why not? Yeah. Okay, then the the bija, that means the seed letter of Amogashiddhi. It can be either Hri or Ha. Yeah. Why it can be two different things is because actually there's different seed letters of the Dhyani Buddhas. But we have two main systems, Om Ahum Tram Hri, yeah, or Om Ahum Svaha, yeah. Svaha is like, for example, in Tarachitamani, this kind of practice. And Om Ahum Tram Hri is in many, many other tantras, okay? Yeah, that's actually the more common one. Hri also means kind of intelligence, actually, yeah. Yeah. You know, so like... Amogashiddhi, like it's transforming this kind of competitive mind. In the ordinary way of thinking, it's like we're trying to do things to protect ourselves, to succeed, no? We're kind of to compete, yeah? So it's using our intelligence in a better way, you know, okay? So everything has like a really interesting meaning, actually, you know? So then instead of, basically wasting our life, just wasting your life just to buy a house that somebody else will then inherit or whatever, yeah? Yeah, it's true, yeah? Killing yourself, yeah? So you're so tired and worn out, so then somebody else gets your stuff, yeah? So then better use, it's like, okay, let's use my life energy for something more meaningful. I'm not saying we shouldn't have a house, of course, need a house, but we don't need all that, It's like we have to, as Buddhists, we have to, we use what's necessary, not just put our energy onto the external, and for what for? Because we're going to lose it, yeah? Anyway, so very interesting, no? Yeah? So Amogashiddhi's symbol is a double Vajra. Okay, so like, that's a Vajra, yeah? Very interesting symbol. We'll talk about that when we get to Amogashiddhi, yeah? But, okay, here is bliss and emptiness, here's the five fathers, here's the five mothers. So if you have two of these, like in a cross, that's the symbol of Amogashiddhi. It's called a Visha Vajra, or double cross Vajra, yeah? Okay? So this means all kinds of fantastic things, like stability, like the union of opposites, yeah? Okay? Also, it means that enlightened activity can act in all different directions, like enlightened multitasking, like Lama Gangchen, like our guru, no? So, means, you know, like we don't just do one thing. We can do like 10 different things to help the others at the same time. Why not? Yeah, let's do like help in action, and build a monastery, and help the disabled, and do spiritual forum, and you know, teach self-healing, you know, etc., etc. Why not? You could do many things at the same time. Yeah, that's like the real action of a bodhisattva. Okay, yeah, yeah. Because also, you know, like a bodhisattva, they have to adapt to the people in front of them, yeah, okay? You know, it's like, you know, because a bodhisattva is like a healer, like a doctor, yeah, okay? Okay, Vajra also means like a thunderbolt, you know, so if you go in like, I don't know, like in Athens, you know, in the National Museum of Greece, no, you see, no, and Yorgos, no, you have all those statues of like Zeus like this, you know, throwing his thunderbolt. So some people believe that this is actually a thunderbolt symbol, like, okay, yeah, like this, yeah, cutting through our ignorance, our dualistic appearance, yeah, okay? So this is a double thunderbolt, okay? Yeah. Anyway, so it means we can manifest like all the energies of all the Dhyani Buddhas, we can do everything, you know, we can be like wise, and we can have like positive discrimination like Amitabha, and we can have love and mental stability like Akshobhya, and we can be like super generous like Ranasambhava, yeah, and multitasking like Amogashiddhi, all at once. Why not? Yeah, why limit yourself? Yeah. So anyway, so the double Vajra means this, okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it shows like the realization of the wisdom of all because we need to get all 5, by the way. It's like Pokemon, you know. We need to collect all 5, yeah, to become a Buddha, yeah. We need to collect the 5 wisdoms and the 5 pure elements. And when we collect all 10, doesn't matter if you are young, old, rich, poor, European, Asian, whatever, you are a Buddha, yeah. Okay. All you've got to do is collect all 10, okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Actually, the other symbol of Amogashiddhi Buddha family is the sword of wisdom, yeah? You see, like Manjushri has a wisdom sword, many Buddhas have wisdom swords, so it's like this wisdom cutting through the wrong way of seeing things, yeah? Okay, yeah? So it's like Amogashiddhi's sword is showing the cutting of samsara, yeah? Okay, what if you cut samsara, what do you get? You get nirvana, yeah? Yeah? Then, okay, so then, I don't know if you can see, these pictures of Andy Weber, the Buddhas like floating on lotuses, but if you look at the Buddhas that came from Indonesia, from Borobudur, they're all sitting on little on thrones, yeah, something like these thrones here in the front of the Gompa, yeah. But I don't know if you can see, like our thrones here, they're called lion thrones, yeah. So they're all held up by like 8 female snow lions, yeah. Why? Because when the Buddha was in the mother's womb, the snow lions came down and surrounded the Kapilavastu, you know, the capital of the Sakyas, yeah? So this goes back to the story of the Buddha's life, yeah? But each Dhyani Buddha has different animals holding up the throne. So Amogashiddhi has Garudas holding up the throne, yeah? So okay, this is a Garuda here, yeah? Excuse me. Here's one I prepared already, yeah? I know I can do that because it's wobbly, okay? Don't worry, after I'll put it, so this is a Garuda, okay? We need to, by the way, somebody needs to glue that back on in there, yeah? Okay, this is a Garuda, yeah? Can you see it? Looks like an eagle, yeah? But can you see here, the bottom half is not an eagle, looks like is a person, yeah? So it's like half eagle, half person, yeah? Okay? So this is like the king of birds, yeah? Okay? So Lama Gangchen always used to tell this story that, yeah, why the Garuda is an important symbol is in Hindu mythology, the Garuda is the vehicle of Vishnu, okay, but for Buddhists, yeah, the Garuda is the king of the birds. So when a female Garuda lays an egg, okay, then the baby Garuda is kind of doing like Pilates and stuff down inside the egg, you know, and then when it breaks through the shell, it goes like this, and it never ever goes down again, yeah? So this Garuda is all the time like in the sky like this, okay? So, but the thing is, because it's at the top bird, yeah? It's always thinking, oh, maybe one bird is going to take my place. It's paranoid, yeah? Okay? It's a bit like if you're like most beautiful top model of Milano, okay? And then you're always waiting for like one more young, beautiful one to come. Then that's why they're all horrible to each other, right? Yeah, okay, isn't it? Yeah, because always thinking somebody is true. Yeah, we know, we've seen it. Yeah, so that's why the Garuda it's the king, but it's paranoid. Yeah, always checking. Yeah, who's going to take my place? Yeah, so that energy of paranoia we need to transform. Yeah, okay. So the Amogashiddhi is held up by 8 Garudas, yeah, okay. Also a Garuda, actually, yeah, actually very beautiful. In a few days we're going to do Vajrapana, yeah. The Garuda symbolizes taking care of the subconscious, the lower energies, yeah, okay, like down, you know, actually like the sexual energy and so on, yeah. So the throne of Amogashiddhi is held up by this Garuda, yeah, okay. So, anyway, so now put him back, okay. There you are. Okay, please somebody super glue that on, okay? So I don't want my Garuda to fall off, yeah? Anyway. Okay, so also, the Karma family, the family of Amogashiddhi, is transforming the wind energy, okay? Buddha Tara represents the wind energy. So we have a male and female Buddha together because the female Buddha represents an energy, a prana, yeah, that supports our life, and the male Buddha represents an emotion, yeah. Why the female Buddhas represent energy is going back to the Hindu period of this idea of Shakti, of life, yeah, okay. In the West we have the idea of Mother Earth, but actually we have 5 mothers, no? Mother Earth, Mother Water, Mother Wind, Mother Fire, Mother Space, yeah, okay. So, without air, we cannot live. If you hold your breath, if you hold it for more than 4 minutes, you die, yeah, okay? So, the most important element is wind, breath, yeah, okay, air, yeah? Yeah? So, every time there's an emotion, there's an energy, yeah? Or vice versa, yeah? They go together. Energy, emotion, energy. Like, that's why it's like Mr. and Mrs., yeah? Like a couple, like they're kind of married, yeah? In a long-term monogamous relationship, okay, yeah? And they go together always, yeah, okay? So, wind and fear, yeah? Or having a meaningful life and overcoming your fears, yeah? Acting like Buddha Tara go together, yeah? Very beautiful, yeah, okay? So, let's see, yeah. Okay, also like multitasking, yeah. So, that's not very clean. So wind, yeah, goes everywhere. You know, wind blows and touches everything. So also the energy of Amogashiddhi is like Lama Gangchen, like for those of you who knew our guru, Lama Gangchen, he was totally interested in everybody and everything they were doing, going everywhere, yeah, because it was like this energy of wind, you know, of compassion, you know, going up, going down, you know. The wind goes everywhere, so that's like also like the Amogashiddhi quality, yeah? 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 Also this kind of restless energy, but we channel in the positive way with the practice of Supreme Healer Amogashiddhi, yeah? Okay? So Tara is the female manifestation of the Amogashiddhi Buddha family. So there's many Taras, you know, there's, I don't know, lots, you know, like there's like Tara, Panashawari, Maritzi, many of them, yeah, okay? Many female manifestations of Tara, yeah, okay? Yeah? And, okay, again, it's the Karma Buddha family, the action family. So the neurotic aspect of the action family is this comparison, you know, oh, maybe they've got some, you know, like, you know. I was reading one thing that, you know, like how much you get paid, yeah? So they offered people more money, yeah? Or to have more money than the other people. Less money, but slightly more than everybody else. And everybody took slightly more than everybody else, but less money. Because it's this thing of comparison, yeah? To try and be the best, yeah? Okay? So this is the energy we're trying, do you see what I mean, yeah? Yeah? So we're trying to transform this energy, yeah? Okay? Yeah? Yeah? So, also this, like the neurotic side of the Amogashiddhi energy is like this kind of, you know, this neurotic person who's always trying to rearrange everything, yeah? You know? Because we don't realize that we cannot, just by changing the world, we cannot achieve what we want, yeah? We need to do something with our mind, yeah, okay? Like Shantideva said, you know, the world is full of thorns, yeah, but we cannot cover the whole world in leather, yeah, but we can put leather on our feet. It's better, no, isn't it? So if you take care of here, you take care of there. But we think, oh no, I just need to do this, and you know, this, and buy this, and oh, another one of this, and you know, we're totally like externalized in our search of happiness, yeah? So in Buddhism, in the Dharma, we try and re-internalize our search for happiness, basically, okay, yeah? And we start to use, you know, our body and mind in the correct way to produce happiness and peace, rather than thinking, if only I had another Bosch washing machine or something, I would be happy, yeah, which is ridiculous, but that's how we think, isn't it? Yeah, 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 it's true, no, sorry, but we all, then we spend ages, don't we, like scrolling. Which one shall I get? This one or that one? And then our life is wasting like this, yeah? Because clearly we think, if I only had that, I would be happy, because we put so much energy into it, no? So, Amogashiddhi is telling us that we need to fix here, not there, you know, okay? And we need to accomplish meaningful things in our life, not just... etc. No, it's true, yeah? Buying things, storing things, then, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these things, you know? Yeah? Yeah? So... So the quality that arises from Amogashiddhi energy is spontaneous, meaningful action, yeah, okay? Yeah? Yeah? And it's the absence of jealousy, yeah? Yeah? The absence of jealousy of other people's wealth, success, and good fortune, yeah? Okay? So that we can measure how much Amogashiddhi energy we've got by checking, when we see somebody coming by, I don't know, Lamborghini or something, we just think, oh, how nice, not just... then we can gauge how we're doing, yeah? No, really, yeah? Rejoicing is the best investment, yeah? Okay? Yeah? Also, yeah? Okay, so the Amogashiddhi energy, then, okay, normally we think, I've got to, we're like very driven, I've got to accomplish something, yeah? Okay? But I have to do it first, I have to do it better than everybody else, and then we get paranoid thinking, oh, maybe I can't do it, yeah? Then come many other emotional problems, yeah? Okay? So then we lose confidence, because all this kind of neurosis is coming from the negative side, yeah, okay? Then you feel envy of somebody else who's achieved it, yeah, okay? Or you think somebody's having a better time than you or something, yeah, okay? Yeah? So, then you get paranoid like the Garuda, right, okay, yeah? So, if we're jealous, yeah, of course we're going to get more obstacles to our own personal happiness, yeah? What we don't realize is if we want to be happy, yeah, we have to make other people happy, yeah? Yeah? But we're not educated like this. We're educated, oh, me first, success at all costs, yeah? Okay, I have to be a winner, if not I'm a loser, yeah? They're very much like this Amogashiddhi thing, actually, So, we need to, so Amogashiddhi, the realization of Amogashiddhi is about changing our attitude, yeah, okay, yeah. Also, another thing of the Amogashiddhi energy, it's called like wrathful energy, yeah. It doesn't mean like, not like that, yeah, it means like strong energy, yeah, yeah. So like the symbol of Amogashiddhi is a sword, so sometimes we just have to cut through all the rubbish, in our mind, in our life, yeah. Because if not, we just spend the whole life, yeah, or lost, no, really, and how, okay, if only I had this season's dress, and then I've got a whole wardrobe full of them, I don't even know where to put them, and, etc., Sometimes we just have to cut through the rubbish, This is not going to make me happy, Sorry, but it's not, yeah, okay? So this is the Amogashiddhi, like, feeling, Amogashiddhi wrathful does not mean being angry at anybody else. Wrathful in Buddhism means if you want to be angry at anybody, you get like a big mirror, yeah, or a small mirror, and you look at yourself and you say, you fool, yeah, you idiot, yeah, you are really stupid because you never learn anything, yeah, you can insult yourself as much as you want, yeah, and shout at yourself if you want, saying you are a total idiot, a loser, because all you do is, waste all your life, yeah, following things that's no meaning. So that wrathful means you need to, okay, to yourself, not to the others, yeah? Yeah? Actually, me personally, I like the translation like turbo for Amogashiddhi, yeah? Okay? Yeah? You know, like, I don't know if they still have them, but in the good old days, yeah? Jeeps used to have like turbocharger, yeah? So you had this switch, so you could you press it and it goes faster, yeah? So Amogashiddhi energy is like this turbo boost to your practice, yeah? Why? Because it also represents your kundalini rising up through your energy system, yeah? The transformation of your life force, yeah? Okay? So if you get that to go, you go, yeah? Turbocharge, yeah? But you need to be turbocharged on the positive, not turbocharge on the neurosis, you know, okay? Which is why, by the way, when we do Tantra and all that, that's why we have to have a very strong, like, emotional background called sutra, yeah? So that when we get our emotions all get pumped up, they get pumped up in the right direction, yeah? Because imagine now, let's imagine somebody press a turbo on your mind, yeah? And then what do? Like, I've got to buy like 10 Bosch washing machines. Because whatever is in there gets pumped up, yeah? So you want to make sure it's getting pumped up in the energy of like compassion, empathy, wisdom, generosity, help the others. I must do something for the others, yeah? Okay, yeah? That's pumped up, not like the normal everyday neurosis, okay? So that's why Sutra and Tantra always goes together, okay? Okay, so every time you hear Amogashiddhi or Tun Ye Drupa, yeah, means I need to accomplish a meaningful life, yeah? And I need unfailing, infallible success, yeah? Okay? And with the Dharma I can have that, why not, yeah? Okay? Yeah? So anyway, in a nutshell, let's say, I think this is what Amogashiddhi represents, okay, yeah? Okay? So once we understand, this time we can do the five fathers, another time we'll do the five mothers. Once we understand what they actually represent, these five, let's say, archetypes, five energies, you know. The five Dhyani Buddhas, this is like a map of a healthy mind. This is a map of our future healthy mind, yeah? So instead of being like super mean, I will be very generous, like Ratnasambhava. Instead of being like stupid, like I am now, I will be like Vairocana, yeah? I'll be wise like Vairocana. Instead of always choosing the wrong thing, always choosing what's bad for me, I will be like I'll be able to know what's my friend, what's my enemy, like Amitabha. And I will live a meaningful life like Amogashiddhi, okay? Yeah? Yeah? So once we understand that this is a map of my future healthy life, yeah, then it's, okay, yes, of course I need to understand these five Buddhas, these five mothers, yeah? 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 And all the rest of these 100 mandalas on the roof is just like the kaleidoscope, you know, like endless manifestations of the five fathers and the mothers in different shifting patterns, yeah? Okay? So, just imagine this is like snapshots of a big kaleidoscope. Then it's easy to understand, you know? Like, if you see many, many different beautiful things. But each one emphasizes healing one particular different emotion, yeah? That's why we have like 100 mandalas, okay? Yeah? Yeah? Anyway, so basically Amogashiddhi is like that, okay? So in the pandemic, when we finally did what Lama Gangchen asked us, which is to do the retreat of the five fathers, the five mothers, what we did is we'll do after this, yeah? We did self-healing, autoguarigione, okay? So Lama Gangchen, he said, when you do, for example, Amogashiddhi, you just do normal self-healing, yeah? No need to put, some people say, oh, what should I make like five Amogashiddhis? Should I put 5 Hris? And all? He said, no. He said, just do normal self-healing. When you get to the Amogashiddhi part, then you just concentrate on Amogashiddhi in your secret chakra, or you are Amogashiddhi, okay? And then you say the mantra, okay? And he said, then, you do the practice of Amogashiddhi, then next day, next retreat, you do self-healing, then you concentrate on Ratnasambhava in your navel chakra, yeah? So you do like this. So we'll do it like that, okay? Just like Rinpoche Lama Gangchen asked us to do, okay? Actually, after this summer, we're going to re-edit the NgalSo Tantric Self-Healing too, republish, yeah? Re-edit means we need to change like 3 things that I spelt wrong, okay? Because I was the one who wrote down Rinpoche holy words, okay? So edit means we just need to, impaginate. We don't need to change the contents, but just some spelling mistake, this kind of stuff, yeah? So we're going to republish the Self-Healing 2 in Italian and English, because it's been out of print for a long time. And also what we're going to do is what Lama Gangchen asked us for many, many years, but we are a bit slow, yeah? We're going to publish the sadhanas of the individual 5 fathers and the 5 Buddhas. So if anybody, for example, like to do a retreat of Amogashiddhi, yeah? You can, yeah, okay? If you like to, like I say, Rinpoche said, just look at the video of the MP4 of him, stop, yeah? And do Omar Amogashiddhi Hum, yeah? Easy, yeah? But if you like only Amogashiddhi, then we will make this sadhana, yeah? Okay, so this is our next project for this autumn, yeah? Okay? So everything arises from the 5 fathers, the 5 mothers, everything dissolves back into the 5 fathers, the 5 mothers. If we get like this, no? 5 fathers, 5 mothers. Okay, and the center is emptiness, bliss and emptiness, yeah? If we understand this, we got the point, yeah? We can get enlightened, yeah? So the 5 fathers and the 5 mothers, they have to become our friends. We have to know what it means. We have to feel it, okay? Yeah? Shouldn't be like abstract, yeah? Many people, we have this thing called your Buddha family in Tantric Buddhism. And when you do an initiation, you drop a flower and, where the flower falls on the mandala and the color, we say, okay, this is your Buddha family. But actually, it's really easy, yeah? You just get a mirror, look at yourself, yeah? And you say, so you don't have to tell to anybody else, but you say, really, what is my biggest defect, Like I say, so if our main problem is that, I don't know, unconsumable shopping or something, then we are Amitabha, yeah? And if we are really jealous, we're Amogashiddhi, or if we're mean, we're Ratnasambhava. But Lama Gangchen used to say that it's impossible to say these things directly to people. But if you go up to somebody and say, you're mean, they say, no, of course not, yeah? Or you're stupid, even worse, yeah? So we have to say, you are Amogashiddhi, you are Verachana, and so on. We have to put it into the nice way. Then say, this is your Buddha family. So this is a personal analysis. So you think, really, what is my biggest defect, And you can get your mirror and think about it, yeah? Then you think, okay, this is what I need to work on, yeah? So if we analyze our own behavior, actually, hopefully it should be quite obvious to us, which is our weak point, because our weak point has to become our strong point, yeah? That's a very essential point of Vajrayana Buddhism, yeah? Your weakness becomes your strength, yeah? We don't say, oh, you're terrible because you're mean. No, okay, wonderful. You can transform that energy and become generous like Amogashiddhi, yeah? Okay? So it goes like that, or, if we're full of fear, we're paranoid and so, okay, we're really competitive, never mind. We can become like Amogashiddhi, full of energy to do many things to help people at the same time. How nice, no? Okay, yeah? Right, so that's Amogashiddhi. We've got 5 minutes, yeah? Anybody got any questions about Amogashiddhi? I have to, because I've only got 1 hour, maybe it's a bit too much, but I have to bombard you with interesting things about Amogashiddhi, yeah? Okay? If there's no questions, then we will do the practice, okay? When we do the practice, yeah? When we do self-healing, okay? Then it explains, okay, healing this, healing that, all these things. Self-healing is like a combination of the highest yoga tantra practice, the Yamantaka, Haruka, this kind of thing, yeah? Together with many, many information from the Gushi, the medical tantra, yeah? Okay? Because Lama Gangchen, he want to emphasize a lot he said, of course, we want to get enlightened, but this could take some time, like maybe the whole of our life or many lives or whatever. So he said, for us modern people, it's important we know the healing effects of meditation, because otherwise we might get fed up, yeah? thinking, oh, maybe after 1 or 2 lifetimes, I might get a result, yeah? So that's why it says, for example, if I do if I connect with Amogashiddhi energy, it's like healing my knee, healing my kidney, healing this, healing that, healing my ADHD, whatever, yeah, okay? Because we need to know, okay? So in the ancient texts, they didn't emphasize very much the healing part, but Lama Gangchen was a healing Lama, great healing Lama, so he wanted to show, So there's this whole list of things. It doesn't mean that you have all of those, but it's just showing the possibilities of healing that energy, okay, yeah? Yeah? So that's why we say, okay, healing this, that, and the other, healing spondylitis, healing, premature ejaculation, my knees, my this, my that. One important thing that Amogashiddhi heals, by the way, is the vata, we call lung in Tibetan, yeah? And so 99.999% of people are totally anxious and stressed. It's called modern life, right, yeah? So we have 3 doshas, wind, bile, and phlegm, yeah, okay? Yeah? So the vata, the wind energy, is mainly located in the secret chakra, yeah, okay? And then when it gets disturbed, we're like modern life, yeah? Ooh, yeah, anxious, yeah? So so if when we meditate on Amogashiddhi in our secret chakra, and the green lights and nectars and the mantra and everything, it has an important physiological side effect of pacifying our anxiety, yeah? It's not an idea, it's a physical thing that happens, yeah? Because like I say, the wind energy that gets unbalanced through modern life is drawn back in and pacified. So just that by itself is like almost enlightenment, I think, for most people, because most modern people are totally anxious and then they spend their whole lives like self-medicating, yeah? Through shopping, I don't know, drinking, overeating, whatever, yeah? Because we're afraid or anxious, no? Yeah? So that's why we do Amogashiddhi first, yeah? Yeah? Because actually we're making some more space for the rest of the changes because we're consumed by this, yeah? Yeah? We're driven, yeah? Yeah? And that's modern life, but we can do something about it starting with Amogashiddhi, okay? So I think that's enough talking. So now I think we take a pause of 5 minutes, yeah, okay? Because otherwise too much, no? Yeah? Maybe you need to go to the bathroom or have a stretch your leg or something. Then at 5 o'clock we come back, yeah? And then what we'll do, we'll put down the screen, yeah? And we will play the wonderful MP4 of Lama Gangchen doing self-healing. We'll do it in Italian because siamo in Italia, okay? Yeah? And then when we get to Amogashiddhi, when it says, oh, Amogashiddhi, then we'll stop the MP4, yeah? I'm saying this because somebody, not me, is going to have to do this, yeah? Who's got control of the Gompa computer. Then we'll stop and we'll meditate, yeah? Okay? Yeah, so on the program it says we're going to collect the mantras and meditate on Amogashiddhi. So we'll do that starting from 5, okay? Okay, so Nimo dele sendele, nime koyan dele shi, ni sentatu dele pel, kuncho sungi jingilo, kuncho sungi nudruso, kuncho sungi tashisho. See you in 10 minutes and we will start, yeah? Okay, thank you very much, yeah?